I'm Hannah, and I'm going to talk about audio and video online feedback and how you can utilize that in your online class. I want to start out by talking about feedback. What is feedback? In general terms, feedback is information about an individual's reaction or response to an event or a product. In education, we want to think about feedback in the terms of improving performance. You want to think about this on a deeper level than simply a cause and effect. The goal of feedback should be to build trust. It should be user-friendly, specific, focused, differentiated, timely, and actionable. When we think of feedback, we can divide feedback into 4 different areas. Feedback can be about a task, it can be about a process, about self-regulation, or about the individual learner as a person. This feedback can occur between an instructor to a student, it can occur from student to student, and it can also occur from a student to an instructor. We know that research shows that student engagement with the feedback they receive is a key element for successful student learning and achievement. A number of studies that have been conducted at different institutions and different disciplines have shown that timely and constructive feedback enhances student achievement. For these reasons, feedback is important to incorporate into your online class. Feedback should be user-friendly, specific, focused, differentiated, timely, actionable, and build trust. True or false? Now that we've talked about feedback, I want to talk about what is effective feedback. In your online courses, you're going to want to ensure that you're not just giving feedback, but that you're providing effective feedback. Effective feedback is information that will result in a change to a person's behavior or their project. Effective feedback is not judgmental or criticism. Effective feedback connects to the learning outcomes or goals and contributes to the facilitation of discussion. Effective feedback compares student work against a set of established goals or learning targets. And lastly, effective feedback is focused, clear, descriptive, and timely. Check all elements that apply to effective feedback. Connects learning to outcomes or goals, is focused, clear, descriptive, and timely, is critical and judgmental, does not result in changed behavior. Now that we've talked about feedback in general, let's talk about why you would use audio or video feedback. In online courses, students can feel disconnected. Using audio or video feedback can add a human element to the course and help reduce the feelings of isolation for students. This can be done through quality voice and video responses. Within audio and video messages, it may be easier to interpret tone and facial expressions compared to written messages. It also can seem more genuine when speech is received in a more personal way. Audio and video feedback can play an important role in accommodating learner preferences and different learning styles. It also can provide more detailed and more personalized feedback as compared to written messages. These are just a few of the reasons why you might want to consider using audio and video feedback in your class. Audio and video feedback can help to add a human component to online courses and reduce the feelings of isolation. True or false? Let's talk about some specific strategies for providing feedback. If you're going to provide audio or video feedback, creating an outline or a draft of what you are going to say can help feedback to be clear and concise. You want to make sure you provide enough detail and focus without doing the work for the student. Think show as opposed to tell. This can be a great time to utilize learning targets. Your feedback should be specific. Keep in mind that too much feedback can be overwhelming, while too little feedback may cause confusion, frustration, and feelings of isolation. Consider the purpose of your feedback when creating your message. A shorter message will keep the message focused on specific content, while a longer message provides time to provide more supporting details. Feedback will change throughout a course. Early in the course, it may be more generic. Later in the course, you may want to use peer feedback. And instructor feedback will be focused on assignments, redirection, or misunderstanding. Personalized feedback can be very time-consuming for instructors. Instructors should utilize peer reviews as a way to incorporate more individualized feedback. When students have to analyze another person's work, it can create an opportunity for higher levels of reflection and engagement. Check all that are helpful strategies for providing audio and video feedback. Create an outline or draft of what you are going to say. Feedback that turns into a rambling message is okay. Too much feedback can be overwhelming, while not enough feedback may cause confusion, frustration, and feelings of isolation. Utilize peer-to-peer feedback. Let's talk a little bit more specifically about audio feedback. So audio feedback could be in the form of a podcast that you create for your class, or it could just be voice recordings that you leave on assignments or in the discussion. It can be done by the professor or by the students, and it adds a human component. It can increase the engagement of students. When compared with written feedback, audio feedback can also increase the amount of feedback that students receive. Now, if you want to do more of like a podcast, you might look into using Audacity or GarageBand. But you can also just use the audio recording feature in most LMS systems or on your computer or phone. When you think of video feedback, you might just think of someone sitting in front of a camera talking. And that is one way that it can be done. But video feedback can also be a screencast. A screencast is when you share a video of your screen. This video can just be of what's on your screen, or it can have you in the corner. It provides an effective way to show and elaborate on a student's performance or highlight missing elements in a paper. Video can enhance learning in different ways when compared to other technologies. It gives the opportunity to show students as opposed to just telling them. Video feedback tends to be clearer than other forms of feedback. It may increase student engagement and provide a more detailed explanation when compared to other types of feedback. On this slide, I've included a list of 4 different softwares that you can use to create videos. You could also just use your camera on your phone or your computer, or even the recording option in your LMS. Feedback can be used as a way to build relationships in an online class. Audio and video feedback can add a human component to the learning and can help with feelings of isolation. Audio and video feedback can be used for individuals, groups, or whole classes. It can be used for peer-to-peer and instructor-to-student feedback. Using a variety of feedback types will address learning preferences of different students. Providing students with quality, timely feedback can have a positive impact on their experience in a course. I hope you will be utilizing a variety of feedback types in the future.